Hey, coach, so excited you found us. Couple things. First of all, go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. Let me help you. 30 plus years of coaching. I've done it. I can help you. Go over and check it out. 14-day free trial, videos, everything you would want to become a better basketball coach. Less than $1 a day. Go over and check it out. Also, go over and subscribe and like. That would really mean a lot to us. We're trying to get to 100,000. Let me help you put some banners on and some championship rings on your hand. Go over and check it out. Let's head off to the video.
All right, welcome to High School Hoops. Before Jake and I jump in, we're going to give a big shout out to our two sponsors. First of all, Dr. Dish. I know there's more competition out there, but it doesn't matter. It's still the best thing out there. Go mention High School Hoops. They'll give you $350 off. Also, go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. I'm going to need it because Jake can verify that my wife just came in here 30 seconds ago and yelled at me because I locked her out of the house. So I might need some money for a hotel room. So teachhoops.com will maybe let me go get that hotel room. I'm not making that up, am I? I locked my wife out of the house.
Yeah, I had to leave because I felt very uncomfortable. So I made my frozen pizza right now for my kids.
Sorry about that. She goes, "You locked me." I go, "I'm just so used to locking the back door," and then I don't know, she couldn't get in.
Well,
Yeah,
I was like, "Oh, it's getting real. I got to get out of here, dude. I'm feeling uncomfortable, even though we're talking virtually."
this is pretty funny. All right, so before we jump on, we're gonna talk about something that you brought up. This was your topic, I think.
Yep.
Um, coaching turnover. So what do you think?
Well, I think the biggest thing for me this year with the coaching turnover is that it's very noticeable that some of the best coaches in our state are retiring. And it's and um that to me, I wonder if this season just kind of puts based with COVID and everything, does that kind of at that point, like how do you get remotivated and get those batteries going after such a long season? Like I wasn't coaching this year, so I didn't experience it all. I experienced even from a director of COVID in fall for soccer and making sure people were masked and how stressful that was. I could not imagine how it was this year for people to be a high school basketball coach. It would be definitely interesting. Maybe we can get a coach on just to get their insight of what it was like, because it had to be such a stressful experience. But right now, when I look at our state, there's about 50 job changes already, and it's only May. So
Yeah, okay, so yeah, so here's my feeling on this. Couple things. First of all, I was not able to coach. So I think personally from outside looking in, I think it was harder for the guys that did kind of coach. I think it
I
was more.
I I I agree 110%. It's like for the ones that have been like teachers that have not been in person all year, it was harder for them,
Right.
like trying to transition and do it. Then all right, I'm gonna teach in person all year and I got to deal with contact tracing and all this social distancing and trying to figure all
Right.
this out. But in the end, the people that had to adjust multiple times like we did in our situation, it
Right.
became a lot harder.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. It's like in our area, they didn't start till halfway through the season and
Yep.
then they start. I think that because to be honest with you, it almost, my son graduated. I was kind of like, oh, do I, is this kind of like, should I step out here? And then, I've got a couple people coming in that are very excited about, and they're excited to play for Memorial. But then I almost got a second, not, it was horrible to be home all winter in the house, but it almost gave me a second wind. I really do. I really almost think it like, because not that I probably did more basketball, but I wasn't like teaching all day and then going to practice, then
Right.
jumping on a bus and then getting home late and eating Chick-fil. I mean, eating crap. I mean, I've eaten more than I probably ever eaten in an entire year, but I've probably been eating better food too. I'm not stopping at Chick-fil-A or blah, blah, blah. And, it's like,
But you've
it's
had
just,
2 years too, Steve. I just don't mean to cut you off, like two extremes, right? So like this is your last year was your last year of your son, you
yeah,
coaching your son, right? So you're like at an all time, like you were coaching with volleyball
right.
and
Right.
and you got to be his high school coach at 2 sports, and your first kid might be leaving to go to college. I mean, that's just like that's a high that
It
way,
was like
right?
7 years of coaching fall and winter back to
Yeah.
back,
Yep.
nonstop, all this energy, teaching
Yep.
statistics, teaching seniors, and then all of a sudden, literally, someone turned the switch off. And after the initial, like, quote unquote scare of the whole thing, I probably slept the best I've ever slept in my entire life.
Yeah,
Like in
because you
April.
not only you were done with volleyball because that was your last year
Yep.
year,
Yep.
and then you didn't coach basketball this year. So like you went from like one extreme to the other, right? Like Twilight Zone. Like that's how I felt this year.
Right.
Just like I'm getting really sick of looking at my screen every day and seeing my face.
You know what? You know, one of the things I realized though, and this is something for younger coaches, is I realized it will be okay. Like, when I stop coaching, I'm still helping. Yeah, we're doing this. I'm helping coaches with Teach Hoops. I started a couple other businesses. Um, I'm going to be plenty busy.
I know, and
I'm
it's
glad
I
you're I'm
agree.
glad you're talking to me again. I appreciate. I'm on my podcast. Would you like to say hi to the entire world? Because I'm not cutting this out. And tell everybody what I did.
What did you do?
What did I do when you were outside that you couldn't?
You locked me out.
I locked her out. There we go. We're gonna leave that in the podcast. Close the door on the way out.
Again,
Yes,
I'm feeling
very
uncomfortable. I feel like uncomfortable.
People all over the world care. So we're leaving that in. Is that funny, Jake?
You know, and I have to agree with you. I'm just going to give you in a situation. Now I teach first grade. You would never think that you're basketball coaching your passion. I have this first grade girl in my class. She loves basketball. Every
Right.
recess, she's dribbling the ball. After school, after school, I see her after school in the gym because she's in aftercare, and
Yeah.
I've literally taught her how to shoot the basketball, and she's making shots at first grade. I think it never goes away. It's just a different capacity of what you do.
Right.
And one thing I have noticed too is some of our best coaches, well, how we categorize best, but some of our better coaches or have successful coaches might step away for a couple of years and
Right.
then they're right back into it.
Right. The thing is, I'm gonna do other things. Like I used to hunt and fish and go on hikes in the woods. Like when I was in my 20s and 30s, I used to do that all the time. Well, then I had kids and I became a head coach and I took another job and blah blah blah. It's like it's almost like I'm thinking like and we bought a lake house. I told you that.
Yep.
So all of a sudden that's taken, now I'm trying to find contracts. Like it's amazing. I think your life fills voids as long as you're open to letting them get filled.
Especially if you're someone that has so many things that have filled it.
That interests me too. It's like,
And you're also able to say, you know what, you can get when you become a high school basketball coach, and this is for anybody out there, I coach collegiate too and high school, is that you learn that you can fill so much in your life that there's some people you just know they go to work and they sit home and do nothing. But like, no matter what, you being a high school basketball coach for 5, 6 years, 10 years, it's going to make you a better person because you're going to get the full thing out of life. So
right.
once you say you're done, you're still going to find 100 different things that you're going to absorb into because you just
Right.
realize, holy cow, I could really do a lot with my life.
The thing is, it's the funny part is too. It's like all these people that chase numbers and wins and titles and again, I can say it because I've won basically at the highest level you can win at in our state numerous times, and so I can probably say that a little easier than a young coach. But like I'm okay. Like if I stop coaching, I'm okay. Like I've proven what we can do at our program, and I think it's in good hands and that kind of stuff. But you're right. I think so. Going back to the initial discussion, I think the coaching turnover, I think it multiplied for the coaches that coach. Like it wasn't like
Yes.
1 year, it was like 7 years. Like, whoa, do I really need all this stress? And I'm
Right, especially your veteran coaches that have been around,
right.
like to learn how to be adaptive. Like a lot of the people that have been coaching for 20, 30 years, it's always been the same, for so long. And suddenly a thing like COVID and, all this other, it's huge. And it's a lot of stress on, especially people that, that have never handled it before. I mean, it
I
is a
know.
stressful situation. I mean, even for younger coaches too, you put in that situation and you could be quarantined for 2 weeks, and I mean, it
It's only
was,
6 days now in our
Yeah.
state, but yeah, I know it's crazy. And,
No.
I'm telling you, we're on the other side of this thing. If New York City, who has 1 million kids, can go back to school next fall, it's looking good. I'm just
Right.
telling you, it's
For
looking
sure.
good.
And like, I think you point out too, is that, you know, it's been an incredibly hard year and
Yep.
it's a stressful job. And I think the amount of stress more this year just way over it. And you lose, I also think you lose this year all the little joy factors that don't necessarily equate to the reality of all the fun things that high school basketball is about. And Steve, I know you know exactly what I'm talking about when I start elaborating on a little bit more. The after parties with the kids, like going to for pizza or doing the team building things, with and connecting with the families and having a full group of fans out there in the community and doing all that stuff, like all those little things. When something like you have a bad loss or things aren't going for you for a week or two, can really pull you back in. But
Right.
when you're only absorbed with those kids and there's nothing else around you, it becomes extremely stressful.
It does. I mean, I don't think I knew the stress I was under until the world shut down. Swear to
For
God.
sure.
Don't know. I don't think I knew. It was like, whoa, whoa. Like, and everyone that's ever retired has told me that. They said you just don't realize it because it's like you're the captain of the ship in the middle of
Yep.
the storm. And you don't know, you're just trying to get the ship through the storm and you're not realizing that you're in like a monsoon kind of thing. You just don't realize it. And then all of a sudden when you come out of it at the other end, that's what everyone's always told me. They go, you just won't
So my
understand."
question to you is, I guess we don't want to pull off the topic was just discussion. I don't want to, as a podcast, push people away from coaching the game. I mean, what can we
No.
say to people? What can we say to say, hey, it was a tough year, but like if your heart's still in it, you still want to do it, go for it.
Oh, so here's the stats teacher, and I'm a stats teacher. This was an outlier. This was not normal. We're gonna go back to normal, and then everyone's gonna go back, and all the little. So no, I mean, I just the reason I wanted to talk about coaching turn because I think the coaching part of at least in our state, part of that turnover was older coaches. I don't need this anymore. This was too
Yep.
stressful. I don't even know what's going to happen next year, even though I can tell them it's gonna be normal by next winter. Our new normal, but it's going to be normal. So I think that's going back to the original topic. I think the coaching turnover is that. No, it is the best. I'm telling you, you never feel with the stress. You also never feel more alive than when you're coaching. That's why I coach. I mean, it's the
Right.
competitive part. It's the adrenaline part. It's the it's the closest you can get to actually being out there. Like, I think all of us would go back to those teenage years and, oh, I wish I could do that again.
Right.
And coaching is the closest you can get to that. And I tell people it's the greatest job in the world. Where else do I get to I mean, if you're working at a desk, how often do you really get to compete? Like maybe you're in a sales, fun, you're trying to beat the guy next to you and sell more cars or something, but it's not the same. It's not the
but
same
you
as
don't got a
tech
crowd
job.
of 3,000 people cheering you on.
Right, you also don't have 3,000 people questioning
Yeah,
everything
good
you're
sale,
doing.
good sale.
Good sale. Yeah,
Exactly.
You also don't have 3,000 people going, what the heck is he doing?
Why is he calling a timeout right now?
Why are you calling a timeout? That's a horrible call.
This guy has no idea what he's doing.
Yeah,
Terrible.
You better have a thick skin, and I don't think the turnover is because these guys don't have thick skins. I just think it did what we were talking about with me. It was like, whoa, I'm near the end. I've done what I needed to do. Let's turn it over to a young pup and let them do it. So,
Sure.
all right. So coaching turnover, I think that was a great topic, Coach. Until next week.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Hey, Coach, I hope you're enjoying the video. If you are, hit like down below. That helps us be found everywhere. Also, subscribe and then hit the little bell up above, and that will help you get notified.
Now, let's
every day
get
when
two
we put a
more
new
guys out
basketball
here.
coaching video
I want
up every day.
A
of the
3
year.
against
It'll
3
help your
situation.
time.
And let's get the 3 defenders with white shirts, 3 offensive players with blue shirts. So let's get a guard and a big man and a swing player, a guard, a big man, and a swing player. And Travis, would you come on out? I'm going to use you as a helper in this drill. Take the ball right here. I just want to show a couple of the of the build-up drills we use for our man-to-man, because I think it will translate into what we were trying to do in the zone defenses that we want to demonstrate later. All right, this is the 3-on-3 choke down closeout drill. All right, you matched up. I want an offensive player over there, offensive player out here, offensive player over there. Travis, coach, you'll be right in the middle of the lane. Here is the ball. Here is the ball. All right, right from the get-go, if this is where the ball is, show me where you'd be positioned. All right, in that gap, you can still, a little deeper, you can see the man, you're giving support. You're in your flat triangle. You know, if that's who you're guarding and I got the ball here, if I gave the ball to him right away, you're on the line, you're in your gaps, and you're ball pressuring. But what we're going to do, because this is what I think is so important, how quickly and instinctively can you dig down? Can you choke down on the ball if it gets into the paint? I'm going to throw the ball at times to a player on the perimeter. And then if you don't get anything, throw it back to me. If I say live, then I want you to go live 3-on-3. But what I'm also going to do, stretch out a little bit, Jake, is I'm going to throw the ball into the paint. Now, what should be the reaction? This is what's so important. Coach, I know you could score, but unless they are late getting there, you just look to flare the ball out to one of these guys. You guys have got to get down and dig down on the ball. And I don't mean you have to open up like this, because now you won't be able to close back out if he flares it. We want you to dig down. If he's lazy, dig at it. You're sinking from that weak side. I mean, it's just like flies on you-know-what digging at the ball, going after it. Now, if coach takes it, he's taking, hard pressure, and he flares the ball back out, you close the ball, you close to your gap. You close to your gap. If I say we're going to throw the ball 3 times in the coach, and then he's going to flare it out, I'll probably yell live after that 3rd time. But I want to see how quickly we dig, how quickly we close with high hands. Here we go. Here's the ball. Dig! Close! Dig! Nothing easy. Close! Good cover. Dig down. Dig. Live. Now, once it's live, then it's 3-on-3. Close. All right, he created a turnover. Once we yell live, coach steps off. He's no longer part of it. He's just a facilitator. And I'm telling you, you've got to dig down hard. Some of our assistants, once in a while, would take a bang to the face and elbow. I don't want you to do that to Travis right now. But you've got to be active getting down there. And then you've got to be just as active closing out. Now, I liked one thing I saw. I think the pass was made over here, and you were already helping. You came and covered for him until he got back to his man and he bumped you back. There are times where you have to scramble. You have to help your teammates by scrambling just to cover the ball, to stop the ball, and not be so worried about the guy you're guarding. That's important in man-to-man, and it's important in zone defenses. Here we go again. I threw it in. Close. Good. That's good. If you think you've got a pretty good gamble on an inside-out steal, we'd like to see that. And again, from the gap position, I think you will get more steals from the inside out. In other words, if I was playing back in here and I just time it, you're making a lazy pass, I get the steal from the gap out instead of over gambling like this, now backdoor. We just don't want to give up easy backdoors or easy penetration. We want to build that shell. We want to build that wall around the lane. Here we go. All right, good. If you can get there quick enough to get a hand on it, that's even better. That shows good hustle. Now, if you didn't get it, I would hope you'd have enough balance to get your stance, and if you flared it, to get closed out to your man. That's good. I want you to be alert to steals and deflections. You're supposed to right now stay in. When we yell live, then you can move. Dig down. Close. Live, live. All right, foul. He just ran a good little give and go cut. You got to jump to the ball and try to get that hand in the passing lane. All right, one more time here. I kind of like your reactions. Now I want it to not even be a reaction, but an anticipation. Now start anticipating when you got to dig down, when you got to close out. I mean, defense is about anticipating and not reacting. Offense is about reading the defense, taking your time, and then reading what they're giving you. Here we go. Steps. Live. All right. Live. Rebound. All right, it's good. You know, your job's not done until the rebound's won. You have to really get position on that.